Hello, this is Clayton again, here with the Spartamaxgunoil military and police firearms lube. And what we're going to be doing now here is you see our project here. It's our AR-15. We're going to do a quick clean on this. And what we've noticed that if you quick clean it before you use it, even after it's been sitting, it's really good. Also, the theories that I'm providing here are going to work with if the police car, if this is in your car, in your trunk, or inside, this is a way to do a quick clean. If you were to do one of these quick cleans once a month for like 5 minutes, the gun would, the rifle or the weapon would always be simple and ready. Furthermore, what this chemistry is able to do is that you do not need a bunch of scrubby brushes or multiple scraping tools. All that we have here today is because the oil goes after the product. It goes after the contaminants and the carbons and the nitrites and the formations. All we have for our tools is I've got a 22, all right? I've got kind of a small shotgun tool, all right? I've got a little screwdriver here, which we need, bore light, and some Q-tips. That's it. And we're going to try to do this in about 5 minutes. All right, ready? Here we go. All right, here we have before us a AR-15, and commonly known in many arenas as an M4, an M16, depending upon the platform, semi or full automatic or whatever. You know, the same basic area has been around for about almost 50 years. All right. Now, what we do first is we just take our tool, kind of punch out the here, open it up. Slide out the bolt carrier group. We'll just lay that down for a minute. And the first thing we want to inspect is we put our bore light in, and then we have a visual to see how much dirt and dust is in there. We see that some dirt and dust is in there, which is good to see. Then all we simply do, I could just lean this against my chest, is I can just put 2, 3, okay? And I'm able to run this through really nice. 1, 2, you see it come through here? See that come through? 2, and it just gets it blacker. 3, now Clayton, you're not using a scrub brush. No, 4, 5, you could do 10 if you want, but that's okay. And then that works really well. All right. So the next areas that we're going to have is we just kind of squirt some in there and in here. We'll just let that kind of marinate. We're going to get back to that in a minute. So we'll set this aside. Now we're going to work on the bulk carrier group. Now in the bulk carrier group, all right, we just pull out this little pin. That's here, all right. Take that little guy out. Bring the drop pin out. That's why they call it the drop fire pin. It drops out, and swing this. Get that out, all right. Pull this out, okay. We have our drop fire pin. This is our rotate bolt holding area. I forgot. Here's your rotate bolt. Now, one of the things that you're going to notice on here, we're going to go through this really super quickly, is a couple areas that we want to do. You know, obviously the drop pin comes in here, so we put a little shot in here. We just kind of do a quick soak. Make sure that the compression rings are in fine shape. Usually when you use this, as a solvency action to keep it good, make sure that they're staggered, okay? Just kind of like a little piston. Make sure that this is all very well and cleaned off around the base. All right, so we just rub this through. We get some of that off. We come and clean this through. We clean the lugs. Now I know I'm doing this kind of quickly. You know, you do this a couple times, it's easy, so you just kind of clean off the lugs, right? Leave it a little wet. Make sure this kind of works back and forth nice, you know. So we got that cleaned off. Now one of the areas, when you get that dirty, you bring that through. we don't do is all the way down. A Q-tip will run all the way so you can get to the base. What we're trying to do is a lot of the carbon gets into the pin right here. Why? Because that's what hires the firing chamber area. Okay, pull that out. We saw some contaminant that's on there. The next thing that we want to do is we'll just clean out the area here. This is what the drop pin goes through. We want to try to keep this nice and clean. All right. We'll pull a little squirt into the key area. Alrighty. Gotta watch out on that sprayer. Sometimes you gotta give a little bit of loving. Then you get this all the way down. You don't want to break it off. That's why you want to use quality Q-tips. See how that does that? Okay. Then you want to look at all the holes, inspect them. If you want to clean them out, you can just take your little cotter pin. That's a good cleaning tool. Make sure that all that's done, right? And also the cotter pin hole. So we have your rotate assembly here. Now, what's interesting is down in here, you know, this is where the air comes in and it goes through. We want to kind of clean that. Now, you don't need a special tool. This is where we use our kind of our bigger bunny foot or a bigger swab. We just kind of do that on there. Whoops, that came off. We just kind of shove this in there. I go all the way down to as far as I can go. I guess 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you know, 1. And that gets that nice and clean down there. All right. So if we want to reassemble this, it's very simple. We just kind of go back the way we were. Put a rotate bolt in, and we just make sure that we just keep it a little wet. That's all you need, a little wet. So why do you want to keep it wet? Well, the thing here is that it has a solvency action. Also, when the carbon comes on here, it dissipates it. So we just put this back in. Make sure that this is, just take the stuff on your fingers, just rub it on there. Come on, let's go in there. Sometimes that can be a little horse's butt, so you got to line it up just nice. Anybody that's been in the infantry or used this gun knows that this part here is not the funnest thing of all, but it is doable. All right, so what we do here, you got to make sure, I forgot about something before, that this is lined up through here. This notch is lined up through here. Then it'll drop in. Okay. So then we just make sure it's turned so the pin will come through. Bring it back. I just want you to wet the pin in here. We drop it in. So that's called the drop fire pin. And then we put a little, we got a little bit on our fingers. We just put it back into the cotter pin. Cotter pin goes in. Whoa, went in the first time, believe that? All right, so. And the reason we need a little bit on here is because this is going to be rotating back and forth. Okay? So just kind of leave it out. It's a lot easier to remember to leave it out. All right? Now, you remember how we used this before? I just put a little bit more on there. Okay? So we're going to come in for the fire chamber. And we're just going to put this in. We're going to clean it. It says, Clayton, don't you normally got to use a big scrub brush in there? Well, yeah, if you use the other product. But you see this here, you won't have to. So you just get that nice and clean. And I want you to see that it's nice and clean in there, right? And then you're going to just take a Q-tip. And I want you to spray in here. And we're just going to wipe nice and clean all the areas. Look at that carbon I'm pulling out. Okay. Alrighty, this is where the slide goes for the, yeah, because you get carbon buildup in there. Alright. So here's your slide. We're just going to put a little bit on the slide. Alright. Now we're going to just clean some of the carbon out. Now we've cleaned the gun before, that's why it's still kind of clean. Let that be in there like that. Put our, look at that, just like on TV. All right. Make sure it's kind of wet in there. And we did everything. Come, lock it in. Look how easy this charge handle goes. Set to fire, dry fire. And she's ready to go. So if you want to just cut down some of the procedures, you can just shotgun it apart and just clean the chamber. And if you want, worst case scenario, just kind of squirt through the holes and she'll be doing fine. And then if you want, you just take a rag, kind of wipe out through here, you know, because sometimes you get some dirt in there. And we just wipe it clean. Now remember, you can leave this wet. Why? Because it's a bio-based solvent with synthetic aerospace oils, and you want to leave it in there so that when the powders come in, it manages the powder and then helps with the firing by not allowing the carbons and nitrites to form in the barrel. So we want to thank you for being with us, and that's our quick clean, and we'll see you next time. Bye.